want to do one more deal with you, and this is maybe more for the professionals out there and less of the, do-it-yourself investors trying to get into different deals. We hear about shady characters in our business and what to watch out for. And we're always asking, like, hey, what should we look out for, risk tolerance? But talk to me about when you got fraud involved.
Yeah. So this one's been big lately because I put the video out about it. But we had a recent deal where I'll walk through the whole deal, but essentially grant deed was stolen. So I'm going to explain the whole process, because I haven't been able to explain the whole process on Instagram or wherever people see my short videos. So went into escrow with a gentleman, and I'll say his name, Kevin Trinh.
Kevin Trinh.
And he locked up a property with my clients that I actually owned the property. I sold it to these guys. Right. They did all the plans and everything on it, and then they came back and they're like, hey, you know this property better than anybody. Sell it for us. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Like, I can totally help you with that. So took it to market. They came in with an offer. We sat down, negotiated at the actual table. We had a lunch together, brought everyone together, and negotiated the contract in person, which I like doing on developments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And came to an agreement. First loan, second position loan, doing some seller carry for him, but really put together a sweet deal for him. Went through the whole escrow, stall, stuff that made me a little nervous, just the stall
red
tactics.
Flag stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff that makes your hair on the back of your neck stand up, those things, you got to listen to that.
You have to, and we'll find out why.
Right.
So came to one final extension, and I said, hey, release your money hard to us. Yeah. Release the money hard. So it was just $10K, and then we had them increase the deposit. A few weeks later, couldn't close, ended up canceling. No harm, no foul, whatever, like you waste our time. It happens. Deals fall out.
Sure.
13 days later, though, there was a few steps taken where Kevin went and pulled a grant deed. Really? Then he added the property information for this property, then made himself a partner in that property on the paperwork. We don't know if he provided corporate docs or not, but he was able to sign as an entity he didn't own. Transferred it to himself, went physically recorded it, paid transfer tax, added a title number to it, and identified that PCOR, so that's primary change of ownership, had occurred in the transaction. Several mistakes is what he's saying. So those are the mistakes taken. So this property transferred. Now, we're none the wiser to this.
Sure.
At all, because this just
happens.
happens.
It's gone. Yeah, no big deal.
Well, property's coming to market. I put it back online. The agent calls me and he's like, "Hey, my client's still interested in the property. Kevin still wants the property. All right, get us an offer, but $35,000 hard before we accept it. I want it released from escrow, and then we'll sign your contract." Right. So they do that. $35,000 in escrow released. Execute contract, go into escrow. Oh. So we've already taken $35,000 EMD. 7 days later, we get a message from escrow. Hey, we need the entity docs for this new entity that is popped up on title. And I'm like, cool, no worries. My client's an investor, has multiple entities. And I'm like, hey, get me those entity docs. 30 seconds later, what entity? What are you talking about? Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, pick up the phone. Hey, let me look at this grant deed. I'm saying it to you right now. I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh. Right. This guy signed a grant deed over to himself for your company. He's like, wait, what? So I call a couple attorneys, call title. I'm like, what's going on? I reach out to the title company on the title order. They're like, we don't have this title order. That's a fake title order. That's a fake title order.
Yeah. Way to go, county recorder, just in case you didn't know, to look at any of this stuff. And you hear this all the time. The horror stories of the recorder isn't they just record.
They record.
They don't really look out.
Mm-hmm.
Continue,
boxes
please.
Are checked. Yeah. It goes through the machine.
You did it right. There you go. Boom. Check this. Yeah.
So they're like, not our title number. One thing leads to another. I'm like, all right, we just got to call them and ask them what's up.
Yeah.
So our response was like, oh my gosh, I'd be mad too. Must have been a mistake. I'll get it fixed. And I'm like, no. You're not going to fix this.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out to our attorney. She's going to fix it, because implications are crazy. This happened at the end of 2024. So we've had a tax year close, entity change. We have now taken the basis up because we took it, for some reason you paid transfer tax on the other price. Why would you do that? So you've increased the property tax, and now it's switched names, and now it's going to come back. So 1031 possibilities, all these other implications.
So, you're right. They're right. You looking down the road, there is a ton of stuff that would happen in any normal ownership change, and this one is probably allegedly not the most correct ownership change.
Yeah. So had to put together this deed that was 9 pages, which I've never seen a 9-page deed that specifies everything that happened, and get that recorded. So title's back in my client's name, thank goodness. And we're going through escrow. One thing leads to another. He bails on the escrow.
Sure.
It happens. But the crazy thing is the steps, the motions, the actions were insane. And
to end up buying back and then walking away from the deal you were buying back, why not just disappear and go like, hey, it's my property now. I don't know what we're doing.
That's what I don't get. Is
our deal went through. Yeah, it's mine now. Like, don't you guys all remember? Oh, you don't? Well, here's a document. Like,
yeah, that's the crazy thing. And unfortunately, not the first property it's happened on. 2 now.
Yeah. That's a part that if it's not the first one, then wipe the brow, because you guys probably got away, luckily, after what could have happened.
Yeah, exactly. So just buyer beware, or seller beware, I guess. And one thing we've added, like, we weren't doing background checks on seller carries. We were doing finance checks, credit check, all that jazz.
Sure.
See what other stuff they have. We ran a background check, and I wish we had run it sooner.
Like private investigator style background check. Yeah. You know what? It's funny that you bring that up, because just today